Okay, without further ado, welcome back, video gamers. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night, etc., etc. We're back. I'm tired of working on game programming language stuff. No more game jam for me now. Instead, my next 1-week deadline is to try and make a store page for Kitty Found a Camera. And so that would mean a trailer, and that would mean what I would want. Let's see. The main things I need are the UI to look better, and then graphics. Good graphics in places. Let's see. So yeah, I think what I'd want is a clear indication of how the UI works for cameras. So I've been thinking about how I'd make that look, and I want it to be nice, basically. You know how it looks? So if we go to the game, I'll point out the problem. So I'd say the core issue is if we look at this UI, you can see that it's really ugly. And like not thematically connected to anything. And so I think what I would do is I would make it look good instead of bad. And I think what I'd probably want to do is make it 3D. And so I've been thinking about what I would do. So like, let's go to Paint. My concept arting of choice. I don't have my tablet. Oh well. I'll draw it with the mouse. Basically, I imagine anytime you bring up... So instead of like, right now, the journal notes are in here, so this shows you your inventory and like your active tasks in a tabs that don't actually work properly. But what I'd want is probably a 3D visualization in this menu. And this menu also is like janky because like when you have challenge photos, it's hard to tell what photo you have up, stuff like that. So what I'd want to do is make it good. Let's see. I know how to do this. So first of all, let's say we have a camera, like the back of a camera here. And so anytime you zoom in, or like when you press Y by default, a camera swoops down from the top and it's here. And then off to the side, we'd have like let's put like inventory options. No, inventory journal. I know. And so it'd just say those there. And then over here it'd say like challenge photos. And we'd have like, you know, like LB and RB prompts here. So I think the first thing that I want to do is figure out, is it good to have all three of these as separate UI elements that can be like brought in one at a time? And how do I put this on top of the current UI? Because I want the dialogue, for example, to still be visible here, but I want it to be behind the camera. So then we have dialogue here. And I want it to be very specifically slightly overlaid on top of it, but you can still see things here. And then we'd have a little thing like here, like my gallery. And then like, you know, you'd still have your photos in the same way here. Okay. This feels like what I would want. And so now my main questions are, how do we deal with aspect ratio? How do we deal with having 2D elements that are constrained, like having 3D and 2D elements linked together like this? Because I think what I would do is I would just have the 2D elements just overlaid on top of the actual UI. Do I want to just dive into this? I kind of do. I kind of do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a very simple 3D, or like a very simple mock-up of this. So let's just have like a cube. No, box. No, mesh. That's what I need. So I'm just going to mock this up with, let's do standard material here of like a blue, no, let's put some emission on this. It'll basically be like the camera is glowing. Okay, albedo. Make this gray, so that way it looks distinct. And I think what I might do is have a fixed, a camera that is on a separate visual layer, or a separate viewport, that has all this stuff. But I'll think about that. But okay, let's call this camera. And for now, let's just, oh wait, let's have this be photos. And then camera 3D. I'm just going to test with a camera 3D like here. So we need it to be right there, I'd say. And hopefully if we change the, like, the ratio here, it would still look right. Because I want it to be mostly, yeah, I want it to preserve this vertical component here, which it seems to do. And what we would have is we'd have the UI, like, on top of this screen here, and then we'd have little things off to the side, so let's put those in. So I'm going to call this UI test. Let's call it 3D, and then we'll just call this like 3D UI test. Take your time, Godot. Okay. So my main thing is, how do I want to do the, I think the animations, I would just hard code them since there's only going to be like 4 of them. Because it's going to be, let's have another mesh. And so this would be like our challenge photos. Let's see, where's my cube mesh? Box mesh, that's what it's called. So I'll just start this with I guess just basically laying all of these out. And let's also have like a test. Let's have an Omni light. And I think what I'm going to do is have it like here. So basically you can always see what's in front of you. And the way that this is going to be done is we need a special layer then. Probably 8. So layer names. So yeah, this will now be 3D UI. Oh wait. Yeah, all of these, they're only on layer 8. This camera will only see layer 8, I guess. Why is this not on layer 8? What? Hang on. Why can't this camera see our... Oh, it's because there's a directional light. Okay. Wait. Oh, it's because... No. It's because this. There we go. And then you can see how this is going to work where, like, this, for example... Let's make sure it's in a place where it's reasonable to see it. Man, that seems fine. And then what I'd want is mesh instance 3D here of like this would be inventory. I'd have to figure out what our inventory would actually be. Actually, let's have the journal first. Why doesn't this light... Oh, because this light doesn't light this up because it's on this layer. There we go. Okay, and then this would have like a placeholder like yellow material. Because I'm thinking she just got like a random like notepad or something and has been scribbling on it. And then we would have our last thing, which would just be see, I'm trying to figure out what it would be. Some sort of box that she has her things in. Maybe it's just like a grocery bag or something. This is our grocery bag for now. And let's have all of this as a node here that's just going to be called, like, UI. Because I'm just going to be testing out, well... No, yeah, it'd be good to have this as, like, a common thing. So this is going to be, like, items. Okay. Okay, that seems fine. And I think what I might do is I might put this behind this. And then basically the way that this will work is these things will also be pushed or brought forward toward us. And I should probably make this camera actually like look like the correct dimensions. Probably that wide is about as wide as I'd want to make it, because otherwise I want it to work on 4:3 monitors. So actually, let's double check that this would work. So what's the ratios here? I'm pretty sure it has to be like less than 1.3 in the scale dimension. Yeah, 1.3. So now it should be... Oh, wait, hang on. It's locked, though. Transform. Go back to transform. There we go. So yeah, this would be how much space the camera can take up on the screen, which I think that's pretty reasonable. That basically matches the UI that we have already. I can add a tiny bevel here or something like that. I'll need to figure out what a camera would actually look like, but I might have like a little bit of stuff here that then can potentially go off the screen, but I want most of the space to be taken with the, actually we need it to be slightly smaller on screen as well. Because we would need it to, we need it so that even on a 4:3 monitor, a player can still see a little bit of these on the side, so that way they can at least, like, have some continuity. Because there'll also be the UI elements of, like, in my beautiful mock-up, there'll be these here where it shows you, like, what exactly you're looking at. And this would be, like, I don't know. It wouldn't say anything there. It basically just say it here of, like, right bumper for journal and then inventory, left bumper for challenge photos. Okay, I'm going to test the animation player. Because basically we're going to have 3D UI tests. Yeah, let's say that. So function, input, event, if event dot is action, or yeah, is action pressed pause. Actually, let's say just paused equals not paused. And what we'll have is new pause. And what this will do right now is it's just gonna, I think, basically bring this down. So let's go back to the camera. Oh, right, I can't look at the camera and this at the same time. Oh, well. Okay. We're just gonna hide this. And, you know, let's make it, well, no. It should be invisible by default. And then what I'm gonna do is, position it. Right, and there was some weird thing where you couldn't, like, put a keyframe. Like, keyframes did not override each other. They just did, like, weird things. But okay. I'm gonna say, like, here. We then shove this down. And then it comes back up right about there. Let's see how that looks. And what you would probably want is the ability for different things to be rotating at the same time. What I could do as well is just have this rotate a little bit. And then it's going to be right at the end right there. So let's say 0.65. I don't get why this is like, why does it go to weird ratios? I get that it's like for 30 FPS, but it's like, am I gonna be really using this for like laying out precise animations like that? I think the thing that constantly annoys me about using a custom or using someone else's engine is the fact that, like, I'll get used to how it works, even if it's kind of stupid, and then they'll just change how it works. So even if it's not as stupid, it's just now I have to deal with it. Like, it's my problem now. And we could have this movement, like, we could have like a very subtle random movement, but I don't care that much. Let's see what the camera looks like. So, first issue. Oh wait, it's invisible anyway, so it doesn't really matter, like if we have it visible for one frame. There's something really janky with the movement, and I can't tell if it's just like there's literally always just a frame stutter for some reason. Okay, now there's not the frame stutter. Like, for some reason, if I keep my mouse here, there's a frame stutter as that little tooltip pops up. Okay, that's fine. And now what I'm going to do is animation new. So I think this is going to be cam to, or let's say photos to journal. Wait, what? I want this here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this will be our default state of being. Actually, can I, like, do all of these? Great. And that didn't even fuck it up. Great. And I think by default, everything will just be, like, 0.5. But okay, let's move this a little bit over to the side like that. And then move this right to the center. And then bring it up a little bit. Okay, that's about where I want it to be. So this will be a little journal. I think, let's make it a little bit wider so it's like taking up most of the page. Okay. And then I'll move this over to here. Okay. Great. And I think what I'd want for all of these is, like, some blending like this. That's what I want. There we go. And then the only downside is now I have to basically duplicate this animation. Actually, I can just do this pretty easily. So this will be journal to photos. And what we'll do instead of this is reset all of these. So we're just going to swap our keyframes around. Oh, wrong way. Because yeah, I just need the exact same animation except for the fact that the blending is the opposite way. There we go. Whoop. So now we can... Oh, right. And then we got to go 0.65 or whatever it was. Was it 0.45 or 0.65? Let's do 0.45. What? Okay, fair enough. So now what we can do is we can go photos to journal. And then we can go journal to photos. Beautiful. And we can see what the camera looks like here. Isn't that beautiful? And then all we need is 4 more animations. So photos to... No. Journal to inventory. Okay. Oh. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of, well, let's move this a little bit. So these two are moving back, rotating further. Then the journal is moving extra far back, probably rotating like this. And then this will be positioned and rotated. That was weird. And so I'll just have to make sure that this is like all correctly how I want it to be. But okay, transform. I'm still not sure how exactly I'm going to like put these on top of everything. I think it'll probably be like a viewport that's just on top of the actual game itself. But okay, I like that. And then we just duplicate, do inventory to journal. And like before, all right. See how this feels. Oh, right, okay. I was like, wait, that feels wrong. No, it's not wrong. Because, yeah, we're basically going from here right to there. All right, and then photos goes to challenge photos. Oh, wait, no. Duplicate. Wait, this should go further back. Like that. And then this. I don't know how this will actually work. Maybe it'll be some sort of scrapbook. I'll have to do mock-ups of like what all of these objects are supposed to be. But okay. Transform, position, rotation. Okay, and also, say that. Okay. Challenges to photos. Last but not least. Oh. There we are. And then... Beautiful. All right, so let's do if paused animation player. Let's have on ready var anim. Oh wait. There we go. We'll do anim. Actually, let's do if not. Play pause. If he else unpause. And that means that we need a new thing, which is unpause. And the way this one will work is we'll just go up to about there. Become invisible. But it will be visible here. And it'll be at 0. And by the time it gets here, it'll be like that. Okay, and then do like this. Okay. How does that feel when we're in here? Okay, that feels quick and snappy. And then when we pause, how does it feel coming from here? Boom. Okay. That seems like it'll work well. Okay, so now let's actually do our thing where we have like export modes equals no. Var mode is 1. So we'll have mode equals 1 here. M mode equal M. Technically, we can have these be, like, completely independent. Hmm. I'm not sure exactly. What I want to do here to figure out how to actually get to a thing. I'll just do export mode. Oh no, let's just do var modes equals challenges. You know, actually enum modes. So challenges, photos, journal, inventory. Hopefully that's fine to have that there. Even though it's a type name that's known to the computer. And so we're gonna have mode equal mode dot photos. And what we'll do is set m. Oh wait, no. Oh wait, yes. So what I want is actually, I want two animation players. So we're gonna have one that's called like items anim, and one that's called, actually let's call it anim items, and then like anim pause. Because what I'm gonna do is like, can I copy an animation from one animation to another? Because yeah, what I want to do is I want to get these two and create a new library. Or what if I just copy these and then place them on this one? So if I did the pause. I think I can figure this out. Because yeah, I want the two things to play at the same time. Oh, hang on, I have a bunch of crap on the screen. This one. There we go. Project, what do we want? We want UI, 3D test. So I think what I want to do is I want to steal the animation tracks. So actually, I'm going to remove this one. Okay. Can I figure out, for example, where this is tracked from? Okay. I think what I can do is I can just have pause and unpause listed on the other animation library. Okay. It was that easy, gamers. Now we have two separate things, and I can control each of these. So we're going to have, for example, this to be photos to journals, then boom, like that. Okay. So now what I'm going to have is, we're going to have anim UI, and that's going to be anim pause, and then we're going to have anim, actually, let's call this anim pause, anim items, and actually, consistent style. Okay. Let old equal okay. So what I'm gonna do is if old mode greater than mode equals mode plus 1, old mode less than mode. Okay, let's do as mode. Actually, let's do int. Actually, as int there. Because what I'm going to do is if old mode less than 0 or old mode greater than mode.inventory. We are going to seek to, what are we going to seek to? Return, I guess? I'll show you the logic of what I'm doing here, but for now, mode.keys, old mode plus 2 okay. So what this should do is when we press the button, it'll get our current mode, and then it'll get the mode that we want to be in. And it'll limit this to just like going from one mode to another. So for example, we can't go from like, if we went from challenge to like inventory, it would just go, okay, we're gonna go from, you know, photos to inventory. We're gonna keep it to like one thing. Or oh wait, no. We'd go, if we were going to inventory, we'd start from the journal. Basically, we'd start from the same direction, but we limit it to one since we only have like animations that go one at a time, rather than like a fancy tween. Which, I could have done that, but who cares? I think this gives me more control over like how they move. But okay, now what I want is wait, where's our input? Oh wait, no, it's here. Wait, what? Didn't I have a function input here? I guess I never did. Oh wow, thank you for the raid. I'm doing fancy new 3D UI. Look at that, amazing. In fact, let's even go down to when it's unpaused. Like that. But okay, let's do if event.is action pressed pause paused equals not paused. elif paused. And for all of our other inputs, we're going to check if we're paused first. So let's see. Oh, thank you, Godot. Okay, event is action pressed. I think I'm going to do UI page up. We would go mode equals. Oh, I do want the ability to go all the way around. How would I do that? I know what to do. For now, it's just going to be if mode is greater than mode dot challenges. Oh, no. If mode is less than mode dot inventory. That's our highest mode. All right, and then if we pressed UI page down, if mode is greater than challenges. Okay. What do we do here? Cast the integer to the enum type using the as keyword. See if that works. Yeah, that gets rid of the warning. Okay. So what this should let me do is if we start this, oh wait, did I press F5 or F6? Hang on. There we go. Okay, so if I press escape now, there we go. And then I can do page up. And let's make sure that this works. So it should do, I'll just check if it works by like looking at it. Okay. So now we have a nice little starting of a pause menu rather than my old one. So for everyone here, oh wait, hang on. I'm curious why it, why does it reset to the same position here? Oh, I see. Because this is always set here. So what I'm going to do is, let's do if paused, mode is equal to that. Basically, it felt kind of weird that it was like disappearing like that. Oh wait, I guess this isn't actually a pause menu because this is going to be used for our UI instead. Okay, and if we're here, it'll look a little janky. That's fair. Okay. And there is some funky stuff with things that are like off screen, or things that are like in the corners of the screen. But okay, I will show you the actual game though. So yeah, this is my game. Kitty found a camera. We wander around, and we take photos of people. And right now, the problem that I'm trying to solve is the fact that the UI is really ugly. It's just this bland, like, white and black outline stuff. Which is fine for, like, the pause menu, for example, where it's like, it's more meant to be, like, utilitarian. But for things like the camera UI, like, this is like the bread and butter of the game. This should be something that looks nice. And it just doesn't feel interesting. It's not thematic. It's not cool. It doesn't really suit the style of the video game. So yeah, my step now is to, I think, bring that into here and start making it, like, exist in the world. So yeah, I need to figure out, for example, how to space things such that you can still see on top of, like, the dialogue. Oh yeah, and also, another thing that I should change is, I don't need to change it for the trailer, since I'm on a rush to basically make a store page. But it should be fixed eventually where I just make it so you can't move in dialogue. I had a funny idea where like you could walk around in dialogue and then leave, but players keep accidentally leaving dialogue without realizing it. So I'm just going to make it so that you can press the B button to leave dialogue rather than like accidentally doing it. or like don't walk in dialogue or while showing the photos list. Have the B button for exiting dialogue. Okay, let's bring that into here. So player. UI 3D test. And I think what I would do is I would have a sub viewport. And it's going to be like a full, actually, instead of being confined to the aspect, it's going to be a full rectangle that's a sub viewport container, like this basically. And I think it'll be on top of the UI with a sub container here, there, like that. And this will be like our status menu. And then we'd have this underneath that. And then this actually needs to be... Oh, we need this to be... What do I need this to be? Because I want all of this to render on top of the UI. Hang on. Maybe I make this a canvas layer? So canvas item derived nodes that are direct or indirect children of this will be drawn at that layer. Can we do something equivalent to 3D layers? Hang on. Godot draw 3D items on top of UI. I'm gonna skip songs with lyrics in here. But okay. So GUI elements in 3D. Separate viewport. Okay. So yeah, because I've done this before. The only thing is that I want this resolution to be the same as the resolution of whatever we're looking at. And let's actually make it so that this will not have a thing like this, but it will have if visible. Let's say that. And we'll have it be invisible by default. And yeah, this will be, where do I do the photos list? I guess it's in the UI itself. Kind of clunky. Let's do, UI 3D as a UI 3D, just node 3D. Let's have an active instead of this. So there's going to be visible equals active as well. Okay, and then when we press the show photos button, okay, photos list. Let's do like UI 3D. I know what to do. UI, or if UI 3D, UI 3D dot active equals false. And I'll do that right here. I guess here? You know, actually I have a good idea. I think this is not the correct thing. I think this is where I want to do this. Okay, let's see if this actually works. Because basically, this should mean that I can press the Y button, and it'll show the new 3D UI. And that'll be on top of my current UI. It didn't quite work. Oh, because I didn't set the UI here. Okay. I thought that'd work. So this should be true. It's not true. Okay. So it's just, didn't bother. Because this should be now. Yeah, that is now. Hang on, let's set the microphone a bit closer to the correct position. Okay, so now it shouldn't be null. There we go. And now that activates. Great. And so now, in the future, instead of having the, this thing... Okay. Oh, wait, but we need to have, not visible equals that there. I'd actually want the pause menu on top of our other stuff. Oh, wait, yeah, because I still need the UI to be on top of our pause menu. But I do want it to be below, or I want the pause menu on top of this menu, but I want the dialogue below this menu. Yeah, because I want it like this, and I think I want this position still so you can see most of the dialogue box. Well, I'm not sure, actually. And also, I'm curious, does this get affected by the environment light? I guess it doesn't. I mean, I think it should be. Oh, but it's because it's not actually positioned in the world, because the camera isn't moving. So the camera's always, like, at the same location. That's fun. Okay. So that's why these are, like... They still have some of the lighting of the world itself, but not most of it. Okay. So now I need to start reconsidering how to do the UI elements, because what I actually want now is... I think what I actually want... This should be inside of here. And basically between... Okay, this is exactly what I want. Okay. This is correct. And this should have no input whatsoever. Let's see, layout, tooltip, focus, input, I'm trying to, like, structure my brain such that I remember what this is supposed to be. Because there should be some sort of focus mode. Mouse. That's what I want. Ignore. There we go. Okay, so now hopefully, let's also make sure that this still works. So basically, when I talk to characters, I should be able to click the dialogue normally. Okay, let's talk to our funny old man. Oh wait, we don't have any, we don't have any dialogue choices with him. Okay, we can still show these though. Okay, so we can still click these, and these should be, yeah, okay, so those should work. And then we assign this to 3D test. Take your time, Godot. And then we unassign it from the player here, because now this UI does not have that. And then we start it again and try it again. And now I can put the UI on this status menu. So we'll basically have like 3 tiers of menu. Oh, thank you, Godot. So what's happening now? Is it because, is something here invisible that shouldn't be invisible? Because I think that's invisible by default. Oh wait, no, this isn't visible, or invisible by default. It should be visible like this. Yeah, okay. That was the issue. Basically, there's a subnode of that thing that's invisible, but not this. But okay. Now we have that. And then this will work fine as a pause menu, and I will remove this whole little system from here, because basically players didn't like using that because it's just annoying to have to pause, and I think this will be a lot better, just because it feels... Actually, I like the ability to move around while in here. Even though you can't really see where you're going. Well, you'll be able to eventually, but... Okay. Save and exit there. And now what I'm going to do is let's add a... I think on top of this, an aspect ratio container. And this will be the same as this one. Or, oh, wait. The whole reason okay. I need to get the player again. Because we need to not have that aspect ratio container there. Yeah, so we need to have the aspect ratio container much more controlled. So what we're going to have is this will be like world UI, or I guess not paused is fine there. And what we'll do is we'll have like aspect ratio containers here actually can be one. Oh wait, hang on. I think an aspect ratio container can only have one child though. And it'll only contain that one child. Okay, so I need to actually have aspect ratio containers on all of these instead. Like this. And basically, I'll have to figure out where exactly the... what was the aspect ratio container supposed to be? I think like 4:3 was my idea. So that would be... So width divided by the height is 4 divided by 3. 1.3, basically. So basically, just both of these will have that. It's like not... let's just call it that. Because, yeah, we need these to be rendered at different layers to squeeze this in between the two of them. And this will not be contained by an aspect ratio container. And instead, this... Oh. Man, I have an idea. We need to set this viewport to always be updated to the current, like, screen resolution. Don't I do that with my mirror? Or mirror viewport? What do I do with a mirror viewport that's different? Yeah, what decides that the viewport is the correct resolution? Ah, well, I'll just add I'll just add a thing to this. So let's go to, like, Godot get resolution. Because basically, we need to check now. Get viewport.get visible size. So this would be like equals get viewport. Get viewport. I think this is right. So returns the visible rectangle in global screen coordinates. What's the difference between get viewport? Oh wait, no. Okay, so it was viewport RID. Okay. And then what we're gonna do is get viewport dot size change dot connect. Let's just call it resize. I know what to do. There we go. So now we should always have a viewport that is correctly sized for our current screen, and we'll have a viewport container like this. So if true, the sub viewport will be automatically resized to the control size. Yes. Stretch, shrink. Okay, so that should all be fine. And then what we'll need is we'll need another aspect ratio controller, but I'll ignore that for now. Oh, we got so many things called not paused. And then we need a lot of things that are called pause. Okay. And then when we go to the player, we have UI slash aspect ratio container. You know, I'm sure we have just UI dot camera UI. Yeah, we can just get the camera UI directly. Okay, good. Let's make sure that all of this still works before we go any further. Because, yeah, now we should be able to selectively hide and show things properly. Oh. Okay, and then here... like that. Okay. So now... right. Our aspect ratio container 2 did not get resized properly. Okay. Oh, wait, but this... Now our dang thing is... Hang on. Because the UI should be taking up the full screen, and this should not be contained by anything. So why is this, Why is this not correct? Because, yeah, this should be taking up the full screen now. And the player, yeah, this thing... Oh, I see. It was set up... Okay. So now this takes up the full rectangle, a beautiful 1080p. So I actually want this to be a little bit further forward. Which I just realized requires changing, what, 4 animations? This one to this one, and then this one to this one, and vice versa. Also, it gets a little janky when you, like, do it really fast, but that's okay. But okay. The next step is to then put these where I want them to be. But okay, I think what I want here is, oh wait, hang on. Unpause. There we go. So yeah, I want to make sure that all of these are where I want them to be. Yeah, like this should be up further. Make sure that works here. A little bit further back. Okay. So that means that now this position is what I want. So we need everything that's photos to blah and photos to that. And then there should be challenges to photos, which also needs to have the new value. Well, that was easy. Okay. But okay, so now what I need to figure out is, so for starters, aspect ratio container, again... So this will be whatever our status container is. Does this not have like a full... I think that doesn't have that. So what I need is actually control. So this will be status. And what it'll be is then we'd have like a some sort of tab container, I think. Or now we'd have an aspect ratio container. Okay. And then what this would have is then all of the things that we used to have here, like the photos and stuff like that. Well, I guess for now it's just photos. I think this would be like a tab container, as I said. So basically, because an aspect ratio container can only properly support one container like this, I think then what I'll do is remove that. So eventually we'll have like maybe like invisible tabs, stuff like that. like, yeah, no tabs, for example. And this will be like on top of our UI. So let's do like a theme override of hide the panel, for example. Let's do a new style box, empty. I'm thinking if we move these inward, that's not going to be quite right. But okay, I think I can start with this. So this would be like our okay. Whenever we are showing and hiding things, now this is our photos list, and what we do is we set this to, this would be photos. And for now, actually, you know what, I will have the tabs visible just for my sake. And eventually what I can do instead is I can have like a, margins on this. Okay. I'm gonna think on this. I'm gonna use the bathroom, though. I'll be back in a sec. I'm shocked it's nearly 5 p.m. here. I don't know where the time went. I thought I started at like 3. But okay. So we need to figure out how to get all of this stuff working. So I'm just going to go to... Oh, we're now going to need... Let's see... Where's my UI thing? So if we're paused, we have the pause menu. If, yeah, we do that. Item get. Photos list is visible in tree. In dialog and not item get visible. So is it the photos list itself? No? Show photo. Hang on. Go to the player. Photo. Oop. Input. Okay, so photo inventory is the thing that I want, I think. Okay, it is in the player. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this now status or something like that. So let's call this toggle status. So yeah, reload that, close that. Toggle photos will now be toggle status. Okay, so now we need to have the UI 3D. This is now going to be status UI. Is going to be our, let's give this a class then. Because yeah, it seems like our UI 3D test is no longer a test. Let's call this status menu 3D. So yeah, now that must be visible, so we'll do status UI.active equals okay. Okay. And then this photos list, so yeah, we'll have a lot of stuff here that'll be controlled by, why would show photo be on top of the photos list? I guess we could do now show photo here. Or, I know, gallery. And then this would be like photo view. And so basically we'd have the ability to view a single photo. And I'd then probably give the ability to like zoom in and out on it. That'd be fun. But okay. But okay, now we must have a status UI. And then I think what I should probably do is have each of these have its own thing. Like the gallery should have like its stuff. And now it doesn't even need, for example, the challenge photos, because those will also be a separate thing. So that'd be, I guess I'm just going to move the gallery here. Info, challenge photos, photos list. Yeah. I'm just going to put that right up here. Okay, and this makes sense because we have like either a thing here that'll be centered. We'll need this to take up a full width. Hang on. Size flags. They should expand to the full width. Oh, because this is here. Okay. There we go. Okay. So I'll center this text then. That'll make sense. Yeah. So basically, we either have the content or we have the photo. In fact, that means that we don't even need, like, this to be two separate things anymore. Because, yeah, we no longer have the challenge UI, like all the challenge photos in the same page as this. Okay, now we have the gallery. And then we would have, like, this little info UI, which now we don't need this here. And do we even really need this? Kind of for now. Oh. Hang on. Phone call from my brother. I'll have to cut this stream shorter than I expected because my brother's going to be back in about 10 minutes, and then we're going to be doing our Christmas Eve shopping for Christmas dinner. But okay, will I be able to get this working in time? I don't think so. Because, yeah, my big goal is... Yeah, we have photo view, challenge photos. What else do I need? I need the journal, and I need the, let's go to my pause menu. Because, yeah, basically we'll also just have this UI, and we'll have this UI all under this thing. Oh, and also this goes here. So we have 4 normal tabs, and then photo view and, the gallery and photo view will be kind of like hidden tabs, basically, because they're actually like one photo thing. Ooh, that'll be fun to figure out how to do properly. So I think what I should do is, I should have a status script here, and then this. I'm trying to figure out how exactly I want this to look. Yeah, because I think what I want is actually to save the whole status menu shebang as one thing, and then have all of this attached to one script. So yeah, I'll just save the whole branch as a scene. Status, yeah. And then what I'll do is I will actually, like, have this UI 3D. Or basically, I'll just like copy this and then paste it here. Oh wait, hang on, what? No, I wanted to actually get all the nodes here rather than... No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to like unbranch this basically. Like make local? Yes, that's exactly what I wanted. Alright, I should probably like save anything that I've done so far. Yeah, before I like start going deleting everything that I've made. So this is 33 repo. Okay, let's just UI/3D test testing 3D UI. So I'll save that as a separate commit. And I guess until it's actually done, I don't need to worry about the rest of that stuff, but okay. So I'm going to rename this the status. Oh. Wait, where'd it go? There we go. Okay, so now we actually are going to do export here. Okay. And then pause. Anim items. Not active. Okay. And then what we can do is we can have like export var tabs. And then I think export var main UI would just be a control. And this would also be here as like a I think I would just have main UI visible equals whatever we have here. Equals active. And when we set the tabs to be visible, const tabs equals the reason we need this is because we're actually going to have challenge photos. So it's going to go 0, 1, 3 because we go back to people. And we skip the photo view because this is when we press the button to see an individual photo. It's just, it overrides the same UI. 4. Okay. And basically what we would do is when we set the mode here, we also do tabs. Oh, wait, no. Tabs dot active tab equals tabs mode. Okay. So basically this should set our gallery and stuff like that pretty well, except for the fact that it won't quite work with what we've had before. But yeah, because we're gonna have a lot of things that aren't gonna exist anymore. challenge UI will still be where it is for now. Prompt box, all that will be the same. Yeah, I need to figure out in a few minutes. Yep, that's probably it. You downstairs? Alright, I'll be down in a few minutes. See ya. Alright, that's my cue to leave. A very short stream today, but sort of getting back into it. I'll be back, well, I'll keep working on this off stream, and I will be back probably not tomorrow, because tomorrow's Christmas, but the day after, certainly. I want to thank you all for stopping by. See you later.